Appreciate you all being here this evening. I realize that you had a choice. And one of those, of course, would have been to have tuned into a very special announcement taking place tonight. I believe I heard somewhere that there's a presidential announcement occurring elsewhere this evening. So I do encourage and thank you very much for making the choice to be here this evening as opposed to being elsewhere. I don't know if Jenny had a chance to go over quick protocols for the call, but generally how we work here is we will, for each item on the agenda, someone will introduce it, give a report, an update. That'll be followed then by an opportunity for questions or comments by any and all of you. If you do choose to do that, please either raise your hand to be recognized that way, or you can ask a question or make a comment in the chat. If you wish to speak, please, as of right now, please mute yourself. But if you do choose to speak, please unmute yourself. Make your comments short, if you can, on point, and try, as I know you all will, to be respectful and compassionate. So with that, the agenda shows that we have here a special announcement. And so before moving to other announcements, I just wanted to say something. Respect, actually, and compassionate are definitely appropriate qualities that we all need to have right now. Some of you may have, over the past week or so, received one or more emails from our dear friend and co-worker Millie Harmon, who is struggling, quite honestly, at the moment with some mental health challenges, which I'm sure has been in part triggered by many stresses that she is going through right now. They are not their best selves in words and actions, and have been, quite honestly, hurtful and confusing to others, and potentially harmful to themselves. Staff, several board members and friends, personal, have intervened in support. We believe Millie needs at the moment time and assistance, which she is getting now. We hope and think is happening back in Arizona. She had, as you they had, as you may have remembered, been planning to move to Sacramento, and so that is now uncertain, at least at the moment. They are back in Arizona. And there will be a time and a place to determine how they can, if possible, reconnect with us. That will depend in part on us, and in part on Millie. In the meantime, we just simply ask that you be respectful and compassionate in what you hear and or read, and try to, as I'm sure you will, understand, or try to understand what may be said, or what you may hear is, again, not Millie's best self. Trying to operate as a staff collective, as we have over the past year or so, and trying to be honest and transparent with you, we just felt that it was important to share this, knowing that you all are incredibly loyal to Move to Amend, and very committed supporters. Just simply, and that life is hard, and we all have faced or are facing difficult circumstances in our lives, and but we are just as committed, and we always have been, and we always will be, to try to help one another as we are in trying to help create a better world. So with that, thank you very much for your understanding up to this point. If any of you have any questions, going forward, feel free to individually after this call or tomorrow, whatever, reach out and we'll do our best to what we feel we think we can share. So with that, before we kind of go on to other announcements, in light of all of this, I don't know, can we just take a couple of moments of silence to sort of reflect on all of this and collect ourselves before shifting gears? All right. Well, thank you very much. So with that, we're going to proceed with the agenda, and that goes right now to other announcements. So Jenny, feel free.
Hello again. Strategic retreat. We have narrowed down the time. It'll be in February of 2023. Again, I'm not sure if we had mentioned this before, but a friend and supporter of Move to Amend has generously donated their space for us to host the strategic retreat. So, it's been several years and we're excited to get into, building our strategy and building that path forward. Also, just wanted to remind everybody about the movement education and empowerment talks. These are kind of like the newest iteration of what was formerly a barnstorming, but of course, with some differences. A way to bring people together, to rejuvenate an affiliate that may need it, or just if you're interested in connecting with other groups, this may be a great way to bring them together to have these kind of conversations and connect the dots. There are several that are planned in the works. We have Texas, Chicago, Philadelphia, Annapolis, and Davis, California. Planned right now. And in the campaign news, check out and share our recent postings, what to expect from the U.S. Supreme Court and Move to Amend. Excellent piece from Greg. That's on our website. And also Halloween is over, but the connections between inflation and corporations still are haunting, as we all know. And I also wanted to bring your attention to the Eco Network. This is still formulating. This is still being clarified, this space, but we all know how important it is that we connect to this very energetic movement because, as if our lives depended on it. We do have that piece of the puzzle, but we also want it to be a place where we're not just sending out our information. It's a little different. It's not a caucus. It's not a it's not a committee. It's holding space and finding ways that we can connect to the threads of that movement, and also to be able to give our analysis in that framework. I see you, Margaret. Did you have a question about the MEP or where we're at so far?
Yeah, I had a question about the meets.
Okay.
So I have moved so within the last 6 months, and I'm sort of trying to find places to plug in here in my new community. So the Citizens Climate Lobby locally is going to be lobbying our congressperson, Julia Brownlee. She's Democrat. She's not a co-sponsor. She's one of the cliffhangers. I think they've decided she was reelected, but she's pretty much a 50-50 district. So she's not, she doesn't go out on limbs. I would like to introduce this local group, which is pretty well organized and has been at what they're doing for several years, as far as I can tell. I would like to introduce them to Move to Amend, and I was thinking, well, the meet would be a great way to do that, but I really don't know how they go, what to tell them to expect or anything. And I was sort of wondering if I could just join in on one myself, just to get a feeling for what they're like, and then so I could describe it better to these people that I hope to get to know. Pass.
Well, that's great, Margaret. Yeah, I'm sure you could plug into one of those meets, but also it could be what the idea of these meets in the difference from like the barnstorming per se is that you get to create how, some of how you want it to go. So, depending on what you're connecting your issue to, or, how, and who you're connecting with, would make a big difference in that. But you will definitely loop you into a meet. So we'll take note of that and get with you on that. Okay, Margaret?
Okay, yeah, thank you. And also, I went to the Ecology Network call. And so it's a lot at this stage, just forming as you described. There's a lot of potential and exploration of allyship there. So I think that's a really important development. And I encourage other people to check in on it. Pass.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Sorry, couldn't hear me. Next thing on the agenda are the announcements is the National Lawyers Guild. There's a resolution before the National Lawyers Guild. Greg went and presented it to them recently. They've endorsed, years ago, but this was hoping now to kind of set the pace so that they would educate their members and be more proactive within getting the amendment passed in their different spheres. And Greg can enlighten us into more of that, but it is linked in here if you want to look at how that would appear for the corporate constitutional rights in that resolution that we're hoping that they will endorse. And it's before the entire open body voting. So if you know members of the National Lawyers Guild, or if you yourself are one, please vote on that resolution and let them know that that's something you support. Of course, we do have a new Zoom line. I know some of you know this, some of you don't. If you have a links and passwords to the Zoom line currently, moving forward, please connect with us and we'll make sure that you have up-to-date information on that. And if you need to use that line for any of your move to amend business, please let us know and we'll get you connected and set up. Also, we're eager to hear your experience in participating with the Movement Education program. And there's a link in the agenda for a form to fill out. This can help with future fundraising and also directions and what works, what's good, how you've seen it benefited from it. Those personal testimonials are really powerful in helping us understand future iterations. And also, please remember to submit your monthly affiliate activity reports. Just a small bullet list is fine at the end of the month, and then submit them to movetoamend.org/form-report-form. Excuse me. I see you, Deb. Yes.
About the National Lawyers Guild, is there any way we can get a list of members to see if we might know somebody to contact?
Not that I know of. I joined just to be able to submit the resolution and be able to comment on it. But I'm not sure that is publicly available.
Okay, thank you.
I will speak to that too, though. On their website, they do have links to local charters and all kinds of different areas. So if it's, if you are near somebody that's participating in that local charter, that might be a great way to reach out.
Yeah, they do have local chapters. They have a state chapter, and they do have an Ohio chapter. It's not been all that active, at least their Facebook and website. But I do know they're doing work, but I'm not sure if they have an individual chapter in Western Ohio. Okay, I think you made it. Oh, you were on mute, Jenny, I think.
Yeah, I was
Really?
just gonna say that is the end of those announcements. If anybody else would like to get on STAG, has any questions, comments, or thoughts they want to lead to that, lend to that. Otherwise, I'll pass it back over to you, Greg.
Okay, and just a word about these, back to the second item there. Movement Education Empowerment Talk / move to amend local and state educational calls. We really, and sometimes there's a confusion here, there's two different types of virtual programs that we are offering. The one that used to be called barnstorming tours are more or less kind of quote unquote in-house, where we are trying to reach out first and foremost to our existing move to amenders, people on our database. If we can bring others in, that's great, but we're principally trying to sort of connect with those who already self-identify with move to amend. And the purpose there is to just try to, get energy, resurrect, sort of talk inside baseball, if you will, inside move to amend about what we're doing and how we can connect with others. So it's more of a, if you will, strategy session and helping people get on the other side of the learning curve about what we're doing. The Movement Education Empowerment Talks are some of that, but they're intentionally designed initially to try to bring in one or two representatives from existing groups where you are, whether it's at a local level or anywhere in the state, if you're trying to have a statewide meeting. And so right from the beginning, we're trying to forge a connection with organizations that we may already have, or that you may already have an existing relationship with, to explore how to widen and deepen that relationship. So it's almost like a second tier. If you already feel confident enough, you've already established a good rapport with some kind of organization or more than one, to bring them on the call, have them talk about what they're doing, and try to figure out how we can support what they're doing and they can support what we're doing. That's the distinction. So at least the planned and in the works calls are mostly for, I think most of them are of the second variety. So they're not exactly, with the exception of, I'm hoping the Philadelphia event will be a neat event where we bring in a couple of other organizations right from the beginning. So just to clarify. Okay, and if you have any questions about any of those, feel free to reach out to us. All right, it's my great pleasure, in fact, to introduce to all of you someone who we have been working with here. Gosh, it seems like it's been longer than a week, but formally, I guess, Dolores Guernica just came on board this past, it's been just 1 week. Gosh, I don't know. Been losing time, been doing orientation. It's been a week and a half, I guess. So we're into our second week. Dolores is our new legislative coordinator. So just wanted to give them an opportunity to introduce a little about yourself, nothing all that detailed, just like what grade school you went to. And I don't know, I don't know
Mother's
when you,
maiden name.
yeah, that's right. And
All
when you
of
first
those
learn to
security questions.
drive, things like that, very general things like that. So welcome, Dolores, and feel free to share what you think we all would like to know about you.
So, hey everyone, so nice to meet you all and see a few of you all again. I guess, I don't know, I'm just really glad to be here as the new legislative coordinator director, whatever title. I keep seeing different ones. A little bit about me is that I've been working in environmental policy for a few years. I've been working also as, doing grassroots organizing in Philadelphia, in Barcelona, and now I am in Birmingham, Alabama. I grew up around DC area, so I also have family around there. I have 2 ducks. A fun fact that I have not yet decided if I'm going to eat this winter. So that's like the recent controversy amongst me and my friends. I also sew and garden and I tattoo. That's another thing. So I'm looking forward to working with you all. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Great. Well, there will be opportunities. I don't know if anyone would just like to open it up and ask a question or make a comment for a couple of minutes, if you're willing to be the recipient of a barrage of queries.
I am.
Dolores?
Hi, yeah, this is Ann. I'm on the stack.
Yes, Ann, go ahead. Greetings.
Hi.
Say who you
Um,
are for Dolores's benefit and where you're from. If everybody can do that.
Okay. I'm Ann Wilson, and I am in San Jose, California. And I lead the affiliate, the Santa Clara County affiliate, and I also facilitate the California State affiliate. We meet once a month, each of those groups. And we've been working in both of those groups, there's people that kind of cross over on with trying to get Padilla to sponsor a Senate bill. We've also worked, California's worked to get a lot of the co-sponsors in California co-sponsoring the HJR 48. Anyway, I'd like to invite you. I don't know what your plans are for working with the affiliates. This call I know is once a month, but seems to be more of a status call rather than a working group. So anyway, I'd like to invite you to our calls to join us, because we could use some help, especially facilitating a Senate sponsor across the different groups. I know there's other groups that are working with other senators. So we meet the fourth Monday. California meets the fourth Monday of each month, and Santa Clara County meets the first Wednesday of each month. So welcome, and I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you
Pat.
so much. Yeah, I'd love to join. And, also for any other affiliates that want me to join any calls, let me know. And just so everyone knows, my email is dolores@movetoamend.org. So if you need anything, just feel free to email me. And let me write that down on my calendar. You said it was the fourth Monday?
Fourth Monday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, and first Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Awesome.
That's pretty late for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're in
That's
Alabama?
okay. I'm used to it now.
Already getting used to it being in Central Time. All right. Any other brief comments or welcomes or queries or requests?
Zach Lawrence.
Yes, Lawrence.
Hi, this is Lawrence from the Oakland affiliate group, San Francisco Bay Area. And are you affiliated by any chance with or had any interaction with the group Indivisible?
I'm not affiliated with them, no.
Okay, just curious, because it might be worthwhile to join a local affiliate group, and we meet regularly with Senate staff, different, various, all across the country, they're doing that. But I'm going to be having a meeting with the legislative director of Senator Padilla coming right up, and it would be a wonderful way for you to introduce yourself to legislative staff on these regular monthly calls. Pass.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, love to join.
Anyone else? Okay. Well, many of you who are and have been taking leadership roles in past congressional sessions, willing to do so again come next year when the 118th session of Congress commences, will be engaging with Dolores or vice versa, as she maybe reaches, as they reach out to you, given your past involvement, because we have a pretty ambitious plan this upcoming session to really reach out. And there's opportunities given the new constellation for some old people who've returned and some newbies on both the House side and even the Senate side. So more on that in subsequent monthly calls. All right. If nothing more, let's move to fall actions, and I'll turn it over to Alfonso.
And thanks
That's
for the
great.
warm welcome.
Thank you, Greg, and hi, nice to see you all. And yes, we have some cool options for this fall, and with family gathering around for Thanksgiving and other holidays. If you think it's an appropriate table topic, perhaps try to bring HAR 48 into the table ending corporate rule and getting big dark money out of politics are issues that even some conservative folks that I've met support. So you can turn these holidays into an opportunity to spread the word about Mutual Man and try to gather some petition signatures. Whether it's in person or electronically, you can go to mutualman.org/petition, and there you will be able to sign the petition and even download a printable version spreadsheet that you can pass around. And another good point to highlight when talking about HR 48 is that in this election cycle, 169 candidates took the place to amend. We are still tabulating the numbers.
Hey,
of pledges
Alfonso.
that are actually doing. Yeah,
I don't know if other people are sort of having the same difficulty, but it's just kind of static
Okay.
connection. And so,
Yeah, you
my
sound like-
apologies. I will turn off my camera so that maybe that helps.
yeah, maybe that'll help.
Yeah, you sound like you're almost underwater.
Oh, apologies for that.
Or
Okay,
on the moon, one or the other.
Okay, so let me start over again so that people can hear me better.
Not
so
much
yeah.
better, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, about the same. So maybe with the camera, we can at least read your lips.
Yeah.
All right, I'll turn it back on. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that on this current election cycle, 169 candidates took the pledge to amend, and we're still counting how many of those candidates actually won their races. But you can find out more about this pledge by visiting mutualman.org/pledge-amend. And fall also presents another great opportunity when you have all your family gather to perhaps meet with some other like-minded local activists and for a movement education and empowerment talk. Meets for short is a didactic conversation led by a Mutual Man staff person with the goal of widening and deepening the awareness of the huge impact of corporate constitutional rights and how the We the People Amendment can make a difference. And noting the intersectionality between these two issues with many others that people in your community might care deeply about could be a great opportunity to spark ongoing mutual collaboration and the creation of local mutual support groups. You can learn more about this and sign up your community to host the next meet by visiting mutualman.org/meets. And you can also, another great option is to take advantage of this congressional lame duck session. It is time to double down on any congressional leads that were on the fence about co-sponsoring HR 48. As Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer recently said in a press conference when he exhorted his colleagues in both chambers to get real things of significant importance done. I mean, what a better and more real thing that to pass the We the People Amendment, which would put real people first. That would be a huge accomplishment. So you can also take this opportunity to call any newly elected representative to say, first of all, congrats, and inviting them to start off with the right foot by co-sponsoring HR 48 in this new Congress. I did that already with my new representative, Vicente Gonzalez, who defeated Mayra Flores in the race for Texas 34. And in a humorous way, I said to the staffer that it was nice to meet them and to expect me to be calling every Wednesday until Representative Gonzalez co-sponsored. So it's a great way to get to meet the staff and just start that conversation. You can find more resources on how to approach your representative and senators by visiting mutualman.org/lobby. And well, that's some of the options that we have for you for this fall. But if you or your affiliate group has any suggestions or ideas that you are going to be trying out yourself, please add yourself to the stack and share those with us. We would be so happy to hear. And I'll pass it back to you, Greg.
All right, well, before moving on, any questions for Alfonso? Kind of challenging there, but anything that you
Sorry.
felt you didn't quite get, or if you did, that you wanted to ask about, inquire about further? Okay. If not, we will move on. There's some overlap here in this next, which I will take on, and that is an update and check in about HR 48, We the People Amendment. So we still are holding at 94 co-sponsors, as Alfonso mentioned. Congress, even though there was an election, they still are doing some work. How much of it remains to be seen, but this period between the election and the end of session before the new session begins is oftentimes affectionately known as a lame duck session. That term meaning technically really done a whole lot because they haven't been authorized. You know, it's that in-between space between the old session and the new, but yet it's a time when a lot of very unpopular legislation gets passed, or can be the time where some Congress people or elected representatives at any government actually decides to sort of reassert their backbone, and particularly if they're not going to be in the next session. So for those candidates maybe who have retired or who have chosen, you know, maybe they lost their election, if they are your representative and you've had a previous experience with them concerning HAR 48, why not give it a go? Maybe now they will be willing to co-sponsor since they're on the way out, got nothing to lose, and it gives us one more person that we can say that gets us that much closer to triple digits. So anyway, that may not apply to anyone on this call or anyone who we've had a relationship with, but who knows, maybe it does. It is one more strategy yet to think about, as well as all those other people who we've had a relationship with that, again, it's why only a couple weeks more to go. Why not just sign on? All right, so that is that. Of the 94, I want to turn it back, Dolores, to you, because I know you and Jenny did some tabulation to determine among the 94 co-sponsors, as well as Jayapal, so actually 95, how many of those will serve in the 118th session of Congress. So real quick, can you give us an update?
So real quick, I will say that we're still working on it.
Okay.
But it looks like about 13-ish changed their status from either like not going for re-election or retiring. But we can share that infographic once I have it fully updated.
Okay. So you're saying that roughly about high 70s?
High 70s, yep.
People are going to return, and that we would like to think would be easy gets next section, and we that as a stepping stone, but we know how that works. You know, it starts all over again. But anyway, just as an FYI, we're talking about mid to upper 70s at least. Okay, so thanks for that. Good work between you and Jenny, and working hard on trying
Jenny Stack.
to. Yeah, go ahead, Jenny.
And I suspect it's going to be more than that. We still have some to be announces as well. And some people ran for Senate. So we may have more opportunities there.
That's right. Some people who were House members ran and won. The guy in Vermont, Peter Welsh, I know is one. I don't know if Fetterman, he wasn't a congressperson before. He was a local person. I don't know if he was a
Lieutenant
pledger.
Governor of Pennsylvania, John Fetterman was.
Yeah, I don't know if he was a pledger or not, if he took the pledge to amend. But anyway, that's good to know. A couple of prospects there. All right. And Californians are continuing to pressure Senator Padilla. That's what Ann Wilson was talking about. She and Lawrence and others. I know Margaret's been a part of that crowd that has been trying to keep pressure on Padilla. So with the addition of Dolores among that group, hopefully there can be some added pressure. Toward that end of trying to firm up and find out where our lead sponsor is tomorrow, there's going to be a number of us, including on this call, Margaret and Jenny and Dolores, one or two others from the Law and Research Committee. Will be meeting with the main aide, who has been overall very open and agreeable and supportive of Move to Amend since she has taken up that mantle of being the liaison with Jayapal's office with Move to Amend. So we are meeting with Lise Phillips tomorrow to sort of sound her out, go over a couple of minor suggestions for tweaking the amendment. One's just sort of a small editorial change. The other concerns the retention or not of Section 3 that some people think is duplicative. Others think it's important to leave in if it is. So we just want to put that in her lap for consideration. And then we have a couple of asks that we will be throwing or tossing gingerly her way to take to Representative, including maintaining next term, again, that number of 48, which we think is important. A few others that will make our life easier. For example, wouldn't it be nice if Representative Jayapal was able to send out, as is often the case in general, a dear colleague letter to all Congress people asking when the amendment is first introduced to become supporters, but a secondary letter just to previous supporters saying, come on, re-up. No reason not to do that. You endorsed it last time. There's virtually no change. If any, this time, why not just make things easier so that we can spend our time adding to that and a few other things. Something that we may also want to ask that just sort of came to my mind that we've done before that we didn't talk about a couple days ago when planning this call was if Representative Jayapal will sponsor a virtual congressional briefing for staffers in other offices to virtually attend, that we can do our Move to Amend presentation and answer any questions or concerns that the congressional staffers may have. So anyway, all that's taking place tomorrow. We'll let you know how that goes. Next item that's highlighted is this thing called shapefiles. I don't know if Jenny has an update or anybody else on the status of that. This is something that hopefully has been kind of automatically done by the owners of and those who work with us in our platform of Nation Builder, that as the voting districts, as redistricting has changed, that change is done somewhat automatically so that we don't have to do it from our end. We brought this up before. Jenny, can you give us an update on if you know where that stands?
I do. We met with Blake today. He is taking it on personally for Nation Builder to make sure that all the ones that was sent in have been uploaded. So those should be good now. And all future ones he will be leading himself personally. So that should be hopefully by our next meeting, he will have those answers.
Great. And so what that specifically means is that, as you all know, following this past election and the census, all of these congressional districts virtually were changed. And that means, of course, that if you are trying to send a congressional district specific blast, you want to make sure that those names are going to everyone who lives in that district and not the old district, the old configuration. And so that's what that shapefile is all about. Sure that the new district and the new list, as we pull them up, thinking that those names of Move to Amenders on our database are in the congressional that you want them to be, is in fact our names in the congressional district that you hope will be. So that's very good to know. Thanks so much, Jenny, for being on top of that. And I know that's been a pain in. All right, lastly, sort of ongoing strategies. This is something that is always an opportunity, no matter what time of the year, no matter what representative it may be, or virtually. And that is to double down on key previously contacted reps focus if you can on neighboring, adjoining congressional district rep, have the capacity, write letters to the editor, put stuff on social media, as we've spoken about. Bird dog, I don't know if Congress people are going to be out between now and the end of the year engaging with constituents, but if they are, that's what provides an opportunity to publicly ask if they will become a co-sponsor. Yes, in the remaining 117. And it may not be too early for people who have maybe lost, who plan to run again, to once again take our pledge to amend, or to follow up, people who you know, and once we chronicle those pledge to amenders who in fact won, and we get that somewhere on our website and direct you to that, and you find out who those pledgers are, those become people that have
Greg, you froze.
We lost
to
you,
figure out
Greg.
what we can do together. Oh, sorry about that. Am I back? Hello?
Yeah, you're back
Okay.
now.
Yeah, just to say, to work with them, to make sure that they follow through with us, to do what they can wherever they are at the local or state level, to get a resolution introduced, organize a town hall, do whatever it may be. And that town hall could be virtual on this campaign. So anyway, those are a few ongoing strategies. So any questions or comments before we move on? All right. Well, thanks so much for your patience.
I think we
And,
see Margaret's hands up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Margaret, go ahead.
Yeah, and then Christine Slocum had a question in the chat, so I just wanted to make sure you get to
great.
her. So regarding the shape files, the congressional districts, just a reminder that when you're gathering signatures on petitions, even if people don't want to give their whole street address, it's really important to get their zip code, because in most cases, that will also indicate their congressional district. But sometimes there's, a congressional or a zip code might be in two different districts. And Jenny, I don't remember what is the other really important piece of information that we need if that happens to be the case.
Yeah,
Yep. Go ahead.
ideally, the full address is really important, but definitely the zip code. If they have those 4 extra digits too, that narrows it down generally.
Does that answer your question, Margaret?
Yes.
Great. All right. And to the chat, Christine, suggestions regarding getting the word out via alternative media personalities with huge followings. Do you have anyone or ones in mind? And I don't know, I don't.
She's muted.
Okay, I'm
Christine?
new to this.
There you go.
I I don't know if you're familiar with people like Russell Brand, or certainly Jon Stewart has a podcast now. Russell Brand has, I think, 6 million followers. Joe Rogan is really very liberal, regardless of what, people have tried to portray him as very right wing, but this is a bipartisan group anyway. So I would think that anyone with this group that could go on there, Russell Brand in particular is just frantically looking for a way to change exactly what this group is about.
Yeah, well, thanks for that. Those are very good, all of them, suggestions. We have in the past had a relation and have gotten on. Tom Hartman is another person who you may know.
Sure.
And he has interviewed a number move to amenders over the years, giving an update. And so I think that is very appropriate, particularly given that maybe you saw, maybe you didn't. I think it was on October 27th. He came out, he periodically, more than periodically, pretty regularly, writes and issued a really terrific piece on corporate personhood.
Right, he's a
We'll try
great guy. I'm just thinking mainstream, people like Russell Brand, he has 6 million people that listen to him on a daily basis. Joe Rogan has almost 13 million people.
Mm.
Chris Hedges, I don't know, he's not so mainstream. Bill Maher, Trevor Noah, Roger Waters has been very outspoken lately. You'd reach so many people, if you start participating in their podcasts. Just
Yeah, no, all good suggestions. We did fortunately earlier this year have an opportunity to have Russell Brand talk about an article that Move to Mend put out, and it got somewhere in the neighborhood of slightly over 1.1 million hits.
yes.
So that was the piece on connecting the war in Ukraine with corporate power and corporate
Right.
rights. So anyway, good suggestions, very worth, and a fine series of New Year's resolutions, I think, to try to engage a number of those individuals on. So thank you so much, Christine, for that, those suggestions.
Could I just one last thing? Is there a
Sure.
person that works on, reaching the public with your message? Is there one particular person that I could get?
Try to
in touch
do it in our respective ways. So feel free to, I mean, the general email, if you are trying to reach out with suggestions, you can just go to info at Move to Amend, or, any one of us by our first name for the most part.
Okay.
Greg, Jenny, Dolores, others, Alfonso, et cetera, at Patty at movetoamend.org. So,
Okay, great. Thanks.
great. Thank you so much. All right. And with that, I'm going to pivot a bit and bring in Jenny again to talk about our end of the year fundraising plan and how you can help.
Hi, as y'all know, we're not funded by big corporations, big government, or any other organization that would compromise our ability to build the kind of grassroots movement we need to build. So we get most of our money in the last 48 hours of the year. But it takes time to build to that. You have to be on people's radars when they're, thinking about their end of the year giving. So we are moving into our fundraising season now. We're starting with our match fund. I'm not sure if you saw an email about that, but we are looking to set up a match fund. It's been very successful in the last couple of years. And that will be a $60,000 match fund that we are trying to establish. So far, we have $25,000 to that. So if anybody is interested in helping establish that fund, we would welcome that greatly. Other ways that you can help is fundraising calls. These aren't cold calls. We're reaching out to supporters, people we already know support Move to Amend, have donated in the past, perhaps, but also a good way to just connect with the work that we're doing, the work that we have planned to do, and the stuff that we've done this year. So, if anybody is interested in that, we would greatly welcome your help on that. Also, handwritten large donor cards. In the last meeting, Michael Adcock, Sandy, and Deanville volunteered. I have you on the list also in thank you calls. If anybody else is interested in that, I'll open the stack up after this to see where you're at, or just simply put it in the stack, what you in the chat, what ways that you are willing and have the capacity to help with. Again, also personal donations. We're forming the match fund, becoming a monthly donor, of course. I know most of the staff and many of you are already monthly donors, and truly couldn't do this work without y'all. So thank you. Also, make a legacy donation. This has been asked of us many times to set that up. So that would be like include MTA in your will, because we never know. But we do know none of us get out of here alive. And what kind of legacy do we want to leave that, you know, speaks to what is important for the future generations and for how we lived our life. And also create an affiliate fundraising page. This is a fun way to connect with other people. Of course, you know, people are more likely to donate if there's a personal connection. So this is a good way for you to say how you or why you support Move to Amend and how you would like them to support Move to Amend as well. In Santa Clara counties, it has a perfect example of a fundraising page that is still raising funds to this day. Also, we are asking folks to make a 2-minute clip, why you move to Amend, why you support this work, and why you would hope somebody else would support it. Alfonso, did you want to speak to that? I don't know how your sound is.
Yeah, I would love to, and I hope my sound is better. I switched from my headphones to my computer audio.
Much
Great.
better.
All right. Perfect. So yeah, again, I just try to keep the video to under 2 minutes and try to find a room that is well lit, either with natural sunlight or plenty of indoor light. Try to avoid background noises, distractions, or echo. Generally, if you headphones, that is great for the audio. And try to speak slowly, even more slowly than you would in person. Position your camera at eye level, and if you can try to avoid angles where the camera lens is looking either up or down on you. Another great tip is that if you're going to be using your cell phone, you don't need to worry so much about the settings. Your camera settings by default are generally okay. Just be sure to record horizontally, use a landscape mode, and try to avoid portrait mode. And most video formats are okay, like MP3, MP4, MOV, or any others. So that means that if you are recording your video either with your computer or cell phone, it's gonna work fine regardless of the operating system. If you can have a family member assist you with recording, that's also great. And try to do a short recording test just to make sure that you can hear yourself clearly and that you are unfocused. And if you have any questions about this or any other tech related questions, I will be putting my email on the chat so you can reach out to me directly, and I'll be happy to assist you. You can also send that video to me directly through email. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them right now too.
Any questions for Alfonso? Jean, did you have a question? Okay. Well, before we move on, see my 5 and 2. 2 minutes is all we're talking about, right? 2 minutes. 5. I'd like to ask for 5 people on this call who will commit to doing a 2-minute video about why they support Move to Amend. 5 people, that's it. Who's willing to do that? All right, Ryan's number 1, 4 more to go. Who else? Mark, that's his hand up. Oh, 5. All right, that's 2. So we got Ryan and Mark. Who else? 3 more to go. 2 minutes. Lawrence is a 3rd. Who else? Was that your hand, Margaret?
Karen Grisham's up.
All right. Karen Grisham, 4. One more person between now and the end of Friday. to do a 2-minute video. Who is that? Jean. Great. All right. 5. Thank you so much. So we'll have those 5 to go with. We on staff are going to be doing those as well. We'll get 5. So we'll have double figures. Excellent. It doesn't have to be limited to that. It can be more, but at least we have those 5. If you are encouraged, enticed, and the like, feel free to reach out. He can help you, guide you, direct you, and the like. There's his email, alfonso.s. All right, thank you much. So with that, any other questions before we move on? Okay. Hearing none, let's move. And what is the next section? I've lost my agenda in the fundraiser. Upcoming events. It is Alfonso. You're up.
Yeah, so here are some upcoming events for this month. On the national level, tomorrow, Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Please join a panel presentation and analysis followed by a participant comment. And it's going to be an in-depth discussion on the impact of the election results on Move to Amend, as well as on the larger movement to create an authentic democracy. The panel will be composed by Dr. Daniel Lee, who is mayor of Culver City, and a Move to Amend board member, as well as George Friday, another Move to Amend board member, and a staff with United for Peace and Justice, and the North Carolina Peace Action. Lawrence Abbott, who is a biologist by trade and a longtime Move to Amend affiliate leader and a labor organizer, and pretty much a total organizing rock star, is also going to be part of that. And this conversation will be moderated by none other than the great Greg Goldridge, who is here with us. And you definitely don't want to miss this conversation. You can be part of it. So please be sure to add to your calendar Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And you can sign up to get an email reminder. I will be putting the link for that in the chat. And some local and state events coming up include, there's like I'm gonna, I don't know.
Everybody else can move.
All right. Thank you. So yes, some other local and state events include the statewide Florida Coalition monthly meeting. It's taking place on Thursday, November 17 at 7 p.m. The Pensacola and Northwest Florida folks are holding their monthly meeting that same Thursday, also at 7 p.m. And Minnesota has their work session on Monday, November 28 at 1 p.m. Santa Clara County has their monthly meeting on Wednesday, December 7th, and that is going to be happening at 5 p.m. And just another quick reminder to join the Ecology Network. This is the newest space Move to Amend is holding, focused on the relationship between corporate power and environmental catastrophe. And this is going to be taking place on Thursday, December the 8th at 5 p.m. And you can sign up on the link that I'm going to be sharing in the chat as well. That's all that we have so far on the radar for now. But if your affiliate group is planning something in the near future, please let us know by visiting movetoamend.org/calendar. And this is how we can help you highlight any events that you're planning. Now I would like to open it up. I would like to open up the stack for all of you to share any accomplishments or future plans that your affiliate has. And just try to keep this announcement section concise and on topic, so as we are getting close to the end of the allotted time for this call. But yes, please go ahead and share any accomplishments or plans that your affiliate has. Thank you.
Hi, this is Ann. I'm trying to raise my hand, but I don't know how. I'm on stack.
Yeah, go ahead, Ann.
So I just, I just put in the chat a link to a Peter Coyote video that we finally finished. And we posted it on our Santa Clara County Move to Amend Facebook page. And I put the link to that in the chat. And we have more videos coming. We actually have 2 more that are finished. And then a documentary. The audio was done by Peter Coyote. The scripts were done by the California affiliate a couple years ago. And then we had Peter Coyote read them. And then one of the people, Patrick McKercher in our Santa Clara County group, put pictures to it and created the video file. So take a look, feel free to share. I think some of you have already looked at it and shared it, but thought I'd put that out there. And then another thing that we did was we went to the Santa Clara, the Student Senate of California Community Colleges annual convention. I don't know where they, and we made a presentation. And I got a couple of people, actually three students who were very excited about Move to Amend and wanted to do something. But I haven't been able to, engage them. I don't know exactly what they can do. So if anybody can help with that, I'd appreciate it. Or if anybody wants to take them on, I'd appreciate that too. Okay, Pat.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing, Anne. And I see that Dawn also is in stack and followed by Karen. So go ahead, Dawn.
Hi, Dawn from Sacramento area. We're basically gonna take stock of what happened in the election, and it looks like Josh Harder, who we were targeting, got reelected, or probably by December 4th, I guess we'll know. So we're gonna target him, and then we would also like to help with Padilla. We've reached out to a couple of the local indivisible groups, hopefully to get their help. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing. Karen, go ahead.
Hello, I'm from Portland, Oregon, Move to Amend, and actually with the elections just over, our David Delk that founded the chapter here didn't win, but he got almost 9,000 votes. So we're starting to get busy again. I'm going to share a couple of links about propaganda and disinformation. I would really like to be sharing the Ecology Network with our chapter on the Facebook page, hopefully to get more people involved, since we have yet to meet an in-person meeting. And then it doesn't look like it worked, but tomorrow night, actually Alliance for Democracy, the First Unitarian Church, and the peace group there are hosting Medea Benjamin with, I tried to attach the flyer with her new book, which is all about Ukraine and, you know, all the parties involved and the risk and the opportunities to resolve it. So, and we have worked with Indivisible before, and certainly you taught us not to be scared to bird dog. So I will post those links, and that's all for me.
Great. Thank you, Karen. Did anybody else want to be on Stack? And yeah, if you please share that in the chat, those links.
I just wanted to ask before Ryan left, if he wanted to quickly, what's in the works in Texas?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for thanks for calling me out, Greg. So we have been working on a sort of a launch event for the Move to Amend network in Texas. With Greg's help, we've been trying to get in touch with Jim Hightower's office. Hightower is populist leader, former agriculture secretary for Texas, and I think a recognizable name for Texans of a certain generation. And so that event is going to be on Wednesday, December 7th at 7 p.m. Alfonso is going to join us as well, it sounds like, which is very exciting. I'm going to be sending out invites for that event on Thursday this week. I have also hosted a film screening recently here in Central Texas that was derailed a little bit because I got COVID, but had some good interest beforehand, and I'm seeking to continue that on a monthly cadence going forward. And I think other exciting news from Lone Star State is that we found another interested advocate. Her name is Janice. She's based in the College Station area, a little east of Austin, and has just begun the process of working through her paperwork to formally become an advocate. So big things happening in the big state down here. Greg, back to you.
I think actually is that event on the 6th?
I had my dates wrong in the draft email. Confirmed before I sent to Alfonso. Wednesday, December 7th.
Got it.
Thank you, sir.
Great, thanks. All right. Any
Deanville.
other?
Deanville's in the chat.
Deanville.
Hello, this is Deanville from the Atlanta, Georgia Move to Amend. I guess I'd just like to say it's a great feeling like you're in the middle of history, I guess, because in Georgia, of course, we have our runoff election with Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock. So if anything, that may be an opportunity to ramp up advocating for Move to Amend, if possible. And I guess I'm just looking for help to how to make a quote unquote history here in Georgia to try and get one or the other, whoever gets elected, to support Move to Amend. And yeah, in Georgia.
Great, and that election's coming up very soon. If nothing else, if there are gatherings, rallies, speeches and all, and you have the time and you got the person power, you would think great event to petition at. Great event. I don't know, Dawn, if you want to be recognized again, or if you just didn't put your hand down.
Yeah, I'll get it down in a second. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Anyone else? I don't know. Should I call out Mary Sue for the terrific program you did?
About what?
Great
Oh.
program.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And is that, are those slides available?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be happy to send them out. I'll just put my email in the chat. If anybody wants them, they can, they can ask me for them.
I just want to say, I followed this issue for a while and I learned a few things on that. So terrific slides, well worth it.
I was really glad you were there, Greg, because I don't always have all the answers and you certainly helped me out on a couple of things. I appreciated that.
Well, I appreciate you putting that together. So very, very well done. Anyone else? Before we move on, good to see Pam from Central Illinois on the call. Been a while, Pam, hope you're well. And anyone else want to share? If not, the only thing remaining on the agenda as we come up to about 80 minutes is the next call, which is scheduled at the moment. We may rethink, I don't know, but it is pretty close to the holidays, right smack dab sort of in the middle, but at least tentatively scheduled. Our next call is the 20th of December. So unless there is anything else, we once again thank you all for being a part of this, and again appreciate your interest, your concern, your work, and it's not quite the end of the year, but it's getting there. So watch out, look for emails coming from us on a variety of different topics, and do attend if you can the program tomorrow. Great. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Hi, Irene. See
Hi.
you soon. Bye, guys. Thank you all.
Bye, y'all. Great meeting.
Thanks. Bye.